I think I'm one of the rare people who knew they wanted to pursue music from a very young age. I remember in 7th grade, it was like it just hit me, and I thought, I'm gonna be a music teacher. I was able to pursue music from the age of 12, and always thinking, what is that logical next step for me? So I sang in choir all throughout high school, played piano, and then I did my undergraduate degree at the University of Kentucky in vocal music education. I pursued a master's degree also at the University of Kentucky, and I actually did that while I was teaching high school. And then I've been a high school choral director for the past 14 years. My name is Lauren Barnhill, and I'm the choral director at Ryle High School. Being a part of the choir is really interactive. So during my choral rehearsals, we don't always spend time just singing. A lot of times we spend time getting to know each other, playing games and team building. But it definitely is a team mentality when you're singing in a choir. We do things that make us stronger as musicians, but also stronger in being connected with one another. I think a choral rehearsal is just always full of so much energy, and it's a really fun, welcoming, and warm environment for everybody. The friendships that you make within music are really unique, in that music allows you to connect with people on such a deep level. And I think a lot of that has to do with the emotional connection that you make with others as you're making music. It's just such a unique way to get to know people. And I feel like when you sing with people, you really get to sing with who they are in their soul. And it just creates really lifelong friendships. As a singer, I think it's very important to address your art form in various ways. First of all, as a soloist and an individual musician, and then also as an ensemble performer. I think it's very important for singers to study not just vocal technique, but also music theory, understanding sight reading, but also understanding how to collaborate with other individuals in ensembles and how to make music in a responsive way. So it's important for a singer to be able to read music from the page, but also to respond to the things that are happening around them. Responsive singing has to do with things that happen within the moment. So we can prepare music from the page and know exactly what it's technically supposed to be, but oftentimes when you're performing, the mood feels different from maybe the way that it did within the classrooms. When you start singing in a choir, I think there's a misconception that you have to be a good singer before you get there, and that's just completely untrue, and it goes for all music. In order to be a musician, you just have to love music, and the confidence comes along with the experiences that you have and the friendships that you make and the things that you learn along the way. There are so many examples of students who started out in choir as a very shy, kind of timid person, and by the time they graduate, whether or not they pursue music in college, they have learned so much about how to interact with people, how to present themselves confidently, how to take risks. But also music teaches you how to self-assess and reflect and grow. And I think that it's really beneficial for anyone to participate in music. It can really shape you as a person. One thing I think is really important for students who are interested in pursuing music is to study vocal lessons privately, because working with a vocal teacher is going to help you build on your own strengths and possibly discover some things about your voice that you didn't know were there. For students who are seeking private vocal lessons, I think it's important to reach out to your high school director. They can usually recommend somebody who would be a strong teacher. I generally steer students away from going onto YouTube and watching a video become an amazing singer in 10 minutes. That can actually cause harm to your voice. The interesting thing that I think not a lot of people know is that some, or really most, vocal teachers offer some type of scholarship. And so I would ask if there are opportunities for that. I was actually able to start vocal lessons in a group setting. when I was a freshman in high school, and that was a more affordable way to take lessons as a beginner. And those are usually based on recommendation by your high school director. They're going to be looking for students who are involved and dependable and who practice at home and have a good work ethic. So just absolutely ask if you're interested in studying privately and on any instrument, because there may be something there that you didn't know. Pursuing classical music doesn't mean that it's boring. You are learning these fundamentals of music, but you can also apply those in your own unique and personal ways. I frequently get students who come into choir, and one of the things we have to learn right away at the beginning of the year is usually a song in Latin, and it's the all-state audition piece, and we're learning it because it builds individual musicianship when you're singing as a choir. And they'll come in and say, this just isn't the type of music that I love. But all of those things and all of those fundamentals that you learn as a classical musician are applied then to whatever kind of music that you want to study. And all of those things are really valuable in building your toolbox as a musician. But what I loved about music was that it's also something that you can do your whole life. Athletes can play until their body can't sustain the rigor of their activity anymore, but as a musician, you can play or you can sing your whole life. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. There's examples of people who have Alzheimer's disease and can't remember their family members, but they can sit down and play a piano sonata that they learned when they were 12 years old. And it's just such a special thing that we can participate in as part of the human experience.